Okay, we've got our buttermilk biscuits in the oven, and now we're ready to make our sausage gravy. It really is important that before you start something like this, that we have all of our ingredients prepped up and laid out. The basic recipe is very simple. It's just sausage, milk, flour, butter, salt, and pepper. We are going to add some optional ingredients because I like it that way, but you don't have to do it. We're going to add a little bit of small diced onion, some diced red bell pepper, and a little bit of minced garlic to flavor ours up a little bit. So what I have here is a pound of bulk breakfast sausage. I think this one was Jimmy Dean's. It really doesn't matter. You choose the flavor. We've got our pan heated up here, our pot heated up here on medium heat, and it's pretty much ready to go. I'm going to add just a little bit of oil just so the sausage can get cooking right away. We're going to go ahead and put that right into the pot, and it should start sizzling. And you can see we're sizzling nice here, and that sound is what you want to hear. And it's going to take a few minutes. We want to break this up in the pot, and then just sort of let it sit so it can brown up on the bottom. We're going to give that a few minutes to brown up, and then I'll get back with you. Alright, we've got our sausage nice and browned up here now, and we're ready to add our other ingredients to make our sauce. I'm going to start by adding our 2 tablespoons of butter right to the sausage. We're going to melt that down. That's just giving us a little extra fat in there so we can make our roux. Remember, a roux is a combination of a hot oil or fat like butter or the fat from the sausage and flour that's mixed together, and that's going to help thicken our sauce. And we'll let that butter melt in. We're going to keep ourselves on medium heat here. That butter melted in, and now we can add our flour. It's just all-purpose flour. And you guys all have amounts for all of this stuff in the recipe that will be provided to you. Alright, once we got that flour in there, mixed around with the sausage, now we can add our garlic, our onions, and our red pepper, and we'll let that cook in there for just about a minute or so before we add our milk. Once we add our milk, we're going to have to let this simmer for a little bit until it starts to thicken up. And we'll have to reduce the heat, and we're going to want to do that kind of slow. Oh, that's the timer for our biscuits, so I am going to check those real quick and see how we're doing there. And it looks like I'm going to spin the pan, and we're going to give it just another couple of minutes while we finish up the gravy. But they're looking really nice, so they're going to be nice and browned up in just a couple minutes. I'm going to set my timer another 3 minutes. It's going to end up taking about 15 minutes altogether at 400 degrees. Good, so I got my peppers and onions and garlic cooked in there. Now I'm ready to add my milk. Now you'll notice that the bottom of the pan is quite browned up from the sausage and the flour and stuff cooking down there. So we're going to take our whisk and we really want to scrape that off the bottom. That browned up stuff is called fond. That browned up stuff is called fond, and we want that in our sauce. It actually adds quite a bit of flavor. I put about 1/4 of the milk in. I'm putting another little bit in. I want to just keep mixing that around, make sure all of our milk and stuff is combined before we add the rest of the milk. And we do really want to scrape the bottom of that pan with the whisk and get all that fond off the bottom of the pan. Oops, a little bit of a spill. Try to be a little less sloppy than me. Get that cleaned up right away before it burns up. I'm going to add the rest of our milk. We're going to let this come to a simmer, and it should be ready after it simmers for about 2 minutes, 3 minutes. You'll notice it'll thicken up really nice. And then you can add your salt and pepper at the end to the taste that you like. I'm I'm going to check on these biscuits in a few minutes, and we'll get back to you when everything's ready to roll. All right, our biscuits are ready to come out of the oven now. I'm going to pull those out. And those are nice. Just a light golden brown on top. They puffed up really nice. They look beautiful. You can see we cut them into squares. They're in funky shapes. No big deal. They're all going to taste like biscuits. We can make them nice with the cutter if we want to, but with the mindset of ease and efficiency and getting it done, you can just cut them into squares. Just going to put those to the side to cool right now. In the meantime, our sauce is simmering now. And it's time for, and it is starting to thicken up nicely. And we're going to start seasoning it up. Okay, we're going to add our salt. And this is all, kind of by eye, kind of by taste. It's simmering nice. I'm going to put 2 nice pinches of salt in there. Remember, our sausage is pretty salty already, so probably don't need a lot. We do want to add a good amount of fresh ground pepper, though. Pepper's really important in the sausage gravy. So we're going to kind of let it have it with the pepper. And we are starting to boil here. I've got my burner all the way down to low now, so it's just simmering along. There we go. We've added our salt and pepper to our gravy. I'll let it simmer just a little bit longer. I'm going to get a tasting spoon right now and see how we're doing on flavor. It's always good to have some tasting spoons ready so you can taste what you're making. It's about there. We're going to add just a little bit more salt, a little bit more pepper, and I think our gravy's about ready here. We can turn our burner off. I can turn my oven off, and we can get ready to serve. Nice. All right, I got a plate. Just going to take a biscuit, break it right in half, lay it on the plate. We'll get a spoon, and we'll just spoon some of that gravy right on top of that fresh buttermilk biscuit. And there we go. Homemade biscuits and gravy. See you next time.